So we're now going to do the little robin's body. So here, as you can see, he is quite round in shape. It is like an egg, really. What we do is we make a little egg to begin with, egg shape. And his measurements are, we've got from tail to breast 6 centimetres. Sorry, that's upside down, but it's about 6, maybe 6.5 centimetres max. Along the top we've got 6. From tail to back leg we've got 4. You might want to write these down. From leg acrossways to sort of the pinnacle of his breast, just before we've got to add his head on the top of there. So we're looking at about 4.5. And if we put the tape measure between his legs and come round until the dome of his breast finishes, we're looking at about 6.5. So if you put those measurements to one side, it will just help you decide how much wool to put on. So if we go back to the finished piece, what we're going to do is we're going to make that egg, then we're going to add his head and his beak, then we're going to do his tail and his wings last of all. But I want you to have a really good look at his shape right now, just so you understand. The chest dips down, so his legs, and then his chest dips down and it comes back up to the point of his tail, where his tail starts, and his back tapers. So from his head, there's the egg shape look, from his head to his tail. If I then do that, you can hopefully kind of get an idea of the direction that we're going in. Oh, wrong way around. There's the beginning of his breast. Okay, so what I want you to do now is to get your legs and bend them over. I want the legs to be about 2.5 centimetres apart, no more. And what we're going to do is we're going to take a little bit off here, and we're just going to wrap that round our wire like that, and it'll just start to cling. And we're going to make a bit of a lozenge, so we're going to go down his leg a little way, not too far, because robins look a bit like little old ladies who lifted their skirts up to go through a puddle. They're sort of hoiked everything up. Right, so we go round like this a few times, and then we stop. Okay, so we're going to stroke that little bit of fibre round. I just need it to keep it quite tight, not so tight that you can't get your needle through it, because we need a bit of slack in order for the wool to be able to move through and felt onto the wool below it. If you wrap things too tightly, all that happens is that it breaks, and we don't want that. And keep going around like that. Mind your fingers, as always, mind your fingers. I'm just going to get that wool tightened around his legs. It's easy to forget about it, but don't, because it will slowly but surely creep down the wire until he's got bloomers. pull yourself off, I'll do about 20 centimetres ish. And we're just going to tag that down there. Wrap it round a few times. Make sure you stroke your fibres, keep them in position that you want them. Don't let them get the better of you. If they're crawling down the sides too much, just stroke them back up, and as you wrap over the top, you see, that'll fold them back in. Now if you've got your, let's take that bit of black out. If you've got your 3 needle tool, I suggest you take it down to 2 needles, if you haven't done already. You see I'm going straight down mainly, because this is just locking the fibres in place. Look, his legs are wanting to move far apart again. Let's keep control of that as well. So mainly I'm wanting to build up here and here. I'm not really wanting to build the side up too much, so that's why you just have to watch those fibres a bit. Remember, it's always easy to add, it's very difficult to take away. We're getting there. It's still a little bit squidgy, look. Still a bit of play in there. And that's really good because we're adding fibre, so you always need to have a little bit of play on your fibre. So I'm going to wrap it a little bit more before we start adding the breast. Let's tack it down. You may need to part your slivers at this point to make them thinner. It may be that you feel comfortable adding a little bit more. Just do it however you feel more comfortable. Don't let it get too high either. So now we've got a bit of a ball going on, and that's okay. So I want you to start thinking of one as the chest and one as the tail now. So that's a bit more squidgy that way. So I think what I might do is just push the fibre that way. So remember with your needle, I know this sounds really, really strange, but if you poke it, okay, you poke something with your finger, you can see what happens. So if I poke it there, yeah, and I poke it there as well, it goes towards a point, and that's what will happen when you sculpt. So not only are you going down, you're also pushing it, sorry, in the direction that you want it to go. So I'm just going to do that at either side. And then that will just help you see. Now, any of you who've done my stab-alongs before might know about target fixation. Certainly anybody who's been on a course with me will know about target fixation. Target fixation is that you need to focus where you want to go. Do not start thinking of it in any other terms other than it is a robin. It is a robin now. If you think of it as a robin, it will start to be a robin. Get distracted by other things. I don't know what you could think this was, but I'm sure you could come up with some things. But if you start to think of it as anything else, it will start to lean towards that direction, and it will be very difficult for you to get it out of your head. The target fixation comes from the idea, and this goes for riding a bike, whether motorbike or push bike, and horses. So you always look where you want to go, but if you look at where you don't want to go, sort of objects that maybe you're going to hit or something like that, that's the direction that you start to pull in. So, and it's the same with sculpting. Just look at where you want to go, not where you're worried it might end up. Okay. So I'm now going to add a little bit here, and that's going to be our next film.